Hello, it's Claudia's Words of Wisdom, and today I'm going to talk about the story of I Am. And the story of I Am came through these photographs. So I think at the beginning of March, I met up with a photographer, Janice Smith Photography, and we came up with an idea of some photos to represent who I am in this moment and how I got here. And I'm going to first start by talking a little bit about Janice because we know each other before this. And then I'm going to be going into the creative process, and then I'm going to be going in the individual photos and reflecting upon my journey, reflecting upon myself, and any insights that come along the way. So I'm happy you're here. Janice and I actually went to post-secondary school together, and then we kind of went our separate ways, and we met up again through our hairdresser. And then there were a few events I had at my house. She came, we reconnected. I think about in 2024 we actually did a photo shoot, and it was called As I Am, and it was a reflection of who I was in that moment. It's in a photo book that I have, and it was beautiful, and it was kind of me dancing around, or it was me doing different expressions of myself. It was kind of a fun photo shoot and very reflective of who I was back then. And so what occurred is she came over one evening. I was hosting a sound bath energy night, and I invited her, and she came. And at the end of the evening, she was saying that she was really feeling into the creativeness of her photography. She was talking about this photo shoot she was doing about grief. And she showed us this one photo, and it was so beautiful. And it inspired me. And the following week, I reached out to her about it, and she goes, "Are you interested in doing something?" I said, "Yes." And then she said, "Well, let's meet and get together." And in the process, I was like, okay, but I really want to do something about enlightenment, about awakening. I said, really about my story. And then she's like, okay. So we met up, and we kind of came up with the first photo, not complete ideas. We were just throwing some ideas. It was going to be 2 photos. And I was like, great, super excited. And in the process, things came to me, so I would just voice message her, and things came to her in the process. And what we kind of came up with is it would be sort of how representing my awakening through the first photo, and then sort of the second one was, I think, about breaking free and stuff. So we only had kind of the 2. And yeah, it's really neat how it all unfolded. So we kind of had the 2 ideas. I had booked my session. We were going to do it in her studio. And so then we came up with this one, which is called The Awakening. And it's reflective of the awakening I experienced after my mom passed in 2019. And I've spoken about this a few times in previous YouTube videos. If you want to go more in depth with that, you can check out one of those videos. I did a 2-week series in January that explained about my spiritual awakening. I think it's even in the title, so you can check that out if you want. But it was the experience I had with my mom was I could feel energy in that room. I could feel that she was being received by numerous beings. I felt so peaceful. I felt so aligned. And everything that occurred after my mom was, in fact, confirming that there is something beyond this world. And I had some beautiful signs through animals, through butterflies, through the owls. And then I started to hear things at night, and it just evolved. And then I started to evolve. I started to heal myself, and I started to view myself differently. That we are beyond just our physical body here. That we're having this experience as a soul essence. And it's in our body, and our soul essence talks to us through our body. And so this is what the awakening part, I know it's kind of dark, you can't see, but it's like the sun, and then beyond the sun is some trees in the background. There's very much roots there. I'm lying in a black dress on top of the earth, and then in a white, fully in surrender and trust. And that's how I see it. I see us as these physical bodies that we're in, but we have this soul essence, and the soul essence is different. It is free. It's not in the mental minds. It's not telling us the story. You live from your heart. You live from the energy that you feel. And it's a different way of being. At the bottom there, my feet are still connected together. So my soul essence feet are connected to my earth body. And we are always connected. We are our soul essence. And at times I feel more like in my body, and other times I feel more my soul essence. I'm constantly in the weaving in and out, in and out. And the more I heal myself, the more that soul essence appears. And the sun is represented to me of God, source energy, creator. And that's that illuminating light. And it also reminds me, when I'm in the sun, I feel the heat, I feel the warmth, and that I feel within me. And it's that connection, it's that reminder to me. If I'm talking to God, creator, source energy, I love to do it when the sun is present. You know, because there's this warmth, there's this feeling, and I can just be there. Because when you're in that energy, you're just who you are. You're not pretending to be somebody. You're not, you know, in that where you're fighting against who you are. And so really the roots on the bottom are just grounding me in. The trees are so grounding. Like, as much as I'm a soul essence, I want to experience this life on earth as I am in this physical body, and to feel all the depths of emotions that I can, to feel all the experiences I'm going to have, or I have. You know, I go into my shadow work. I go into that depth. I go into the sadness and the frustration or the discomfort. And as much as I go there, I also go in the joy and the peace and the love. And again, there is that, the light and the dark, and we're constantly weaving in, and we're meant to. A lot of people are in resistance to it, but if you let go of the resistance and you just allow yourself to go, to be, I feel it's such a beautiful journey, and there's so much you will get out of it, to be in that. And so for me, this is the awakening of knowing that I am my soul and my physical body, and that I have a connection beyond this world. But what I'm really coming here is to experience this world. And can I do it together? Can I allow my soul to say, this is how I want to live and be, and yet stay really grounded? That's why it's beautiful to have the roots there and the trees. And I'm always in nature, and I ground there. The trees remind me that your roots are that you are fully in this experience on this earth. That's what the roots reflect to me. And that's why I am there. They're two versions of me, but yet they're connected. They're still there. And in a spiritual awakening, I think comes confusion. Comes where you realize there's more to you, way more to you. And how can you come together? How can you be in that position? How can you mold yourself? How can you allow yourself to go between both? And you can, but it is in that, and that's kind of like, okay, this was where I started. This is what I see. This is what I want to embrace. I want to live more. A lot of in the spiritual awakening, you're questioning, who am I? And you should always question, who am I? Because there's growth. There's where you can evolve. There's where you can discover. You can be curious. You can be open. You can experience all these things together. And so that was the start of my journey. All right. So I'm going to have to move around because obviously they're not on my wall yet. And actually, I'm not going to put them on my wall because I feel like I'm going to be moving at some point. So I don't want to do that. I'm saving them for my next place. So this one is Breaking Free, and that was so much fun. Janice and I kind of we did we I got Willow here. We kind of came up the water. I think at some point I said I need water to be in it. I'm such a water. I mean, I have 3 water signs. I love water. I love being in water, and so I was like, and so we kind of threw around different ideas. And she went to some conference, and then she's like, all of a sudden she texts me. She goes, "Would you go in clay? Can we like put clay on you?" I'm like, "Yes." I'm game. I like doing things like that. I go barefoot in the puddles. I think it's good to play with mud. I love doing clay things. I've gone to a couple clay things. I think getting your hands dirty with, and it's also part of nature, clay. It's really, it's really embracing that aspect as well. And and then we were going to do it in water. And it took us a couple times, and I'm going to tell you, I didn't realize how tight the clay gets. And I was like, it kind of for a moment took me like, oh my God, I feel like I'm freaking out here for a second, because you can't, it's all super tight. But that was kind of the point. Before my awakening, my nervous system was so off. I lived in a bubble. I had a lot of anxiety. I didn't like to try new things. I needed things that I recognized. I didn't travel a lot. I really lived in a bubble because I needed to feel safe, and being safe meant that I just did what I knew. And that is not the way to live. And the anxiety, I think, comes because you're not living as your authentic self. That the traumas that you experienced before will keep you stuck there. And then you start getting anxiety. And this is how I lived most of my life, in confinement. And I did enjoy things. I don't want it to I did enjoy it. There were beautiful aspects of my life, but I still was really restricted in how I was living and who I was. And so this is reflective of that. And it's a big part, because in a spiritual awakening, you're going to start thinking different, and you're going to have to say, what are my old patterns? What are my old thoughts? Where am I keeping myself small? Where am I holding myself back? Who's holding me back? Are you a people pleaser? What is going on in your life that is keeping you so limited? And I had a lot of stories. I had a lot of, I'm going to say, even some trauma that kept me small, and I had to let it go. And that's where it's coming up here, is like my skin, because it's starting to come down. The clay is starting to fall off. The water is so cleansing. If I am feeling really off, I have to get in the bathtub. And I've had healing in the bathtub, going into any lake, river, creek, ocean is cleansing, it's clearing. We are water. And drinking very good water is very important. And that is something I've made a priority. And so water for me is it's like a releasing, it's a clearing. Your tears are like, let the tears fall. Release it. It's healing some aspect of you, and it's okay. Where they said, don't cry, let it go. Don't hold on to it. And it was fun. We're in the shower, and the clay is so tight on my face, I literally couldn't open my eyes. And then she had me tilt my head in the water, and I couldn't hear. So I was literally surrendering to the process and trusting that this was going to come out the way it was. And I believe that when you start to release the control in your life, through your thought patterns, through whatever it is, there is surrendering. There is letting go of, I trust this process. I'm going to have faith. I'm going to trust. And a lot of us need to do that. And I always feel that people, for me, I don't want to put it out there, but for me, it was, the more I tried to control my life was because I felt more out of control. So the less I try and control my life, the more I'm in alignment, the more I actually have faith. Like, I live really on a day-to-day place here. It's like, I didn't even know I was going to do this video until like an hour before. It's like, okay, it's time to do it. And it's a beautiful way to live. It's a fun way to live. And I just have faith and I trust. I think there's so much to unfold in my life, and I'm releasing it. I'm co-creating with the universe. I'm like, allow me to just, what messages, what signs or synchronicities are you bringing to me? I'm here, I'm ready. And around the mouth is like this crackle of it's drawing so much the clay that there's like lines. And a lot of it is not speaking. I never spoke. When you're not in alignment, the way you speak is not in truth. It's your truth in the moment, I should say. But the more I became aligned with who I was, the more I was able to speak my truth. The more I can really come from a place, from my heart, from my soul, and I can speak my truth. So that was a big part of this. I mean, I know you're not seeing the details. They're here. Yeah, so that was a really special photo shoot. So they were done differently, and then the last two were done in the forest. Okay, so you're gonna awaken confusion. You're gonna figure it out. Hey, there's more to my life, and then there's the breaking free, and what does that mean for you? All right, I'm gonna move over now. Okay, so if you've been following me on social media, you know I love wings. You know I love nature. Is that helping? and so we decided to do a photo shoot in the forest. Janice was actually at a conference, and she's like, oh, there's a Mother Earth theme here, and she said, I think we should do that. And so I'm like, okay, so we're going now from 2 photos to a third one. And I'm like, sure. Like, obviously, I'm like, I am Mother. Like, for me, this one was called Mother Earth Home, We Are One. Because all part of my journey from my awakening has me connected to this earth. The earth teaches us so much. It's so healing. There's no way that I am the person I am today without the time that I've spent in nature, without the animals teaching me things, without the trees teaching me everything, the water, everything. There's so much there to learn from. And that's where I learned to come back to myself, where I felt safe to do, where I could be playful and joyful, where I could grab my wings and just go in the forest and have fun and dance and dress up in a ball gown. I have a couple videos from that session, and I mean, I could say so much about Mother Earth. That she is changing, she's awakening, just as we are. And when the weather's off, I feel off. When the weather's good, I'm there. We have the seasons. We're meant to hibernate during winter. Spring is coming back to herself. Summer is being in there. And then autumn is coming back, releasing, letting go, preparing ourselves for the winter. There's so much there. And so for me, it was so important to get to that inner fairy, that the fairies are so playful and so joyful. And I have worked with fairies, the energy of fairies, and the first time I connected with them, they were like, we need to play more. You need to play more. The adults and the children of this world do not play enough. And it's so true. Children are supposed to be messy. They're supposed to get their hands in the dirt. They're supposed to roll around. They're supposed to jump in the puddles. They're supposed to play in the rain. They're supposed to be messy. They're supposed to be creative. They're meant to be outside, learning and playing and interacting with this earth. Our children are so beautiful. And they represent to us, and we're meant to as well. The adults were meant to I'm learning so much from the children now. And I think that we think we're teaching the children. I think the children are here to teach us. I really do. And can we listen to them? And listen to nature, and then that's where we come back to ourselves. This was in the forest, and I'm lying on the ground. And that's a real fern. And then we just had me in the dress and we put some butterflies, because a part of any spiritual awakening is transformation, is like letting go and coming back to yourself over and over. Healing isn't linear, it's there all the time. We're meant to. And I'm a life path 9, which is about death and rebirth over and over. But each time it gets a little easier, a little more that I learn about myself each time. And it's been a beautiful process, and I'm so grateful. Difficult, yes, absolutely. But I have these moments in nature, and I get to be free and play and just allow that inner child to heal and allow that inner child to come out and just have so much fun. And I think we should do more in nature. And we are one. We are one. I think we need to go back to the way we grow our food. You know, spending more time in nature, doing more gardening, doing our own food. You know, spending time in nature with the animals. You know, I'm different with my horses now. I'm more observer. I'm more out there with them, just being. And it changes. They change. I'm part of the herd now, like, because I'm out there. And because my energy is different, and they see that. Horses and animals feel energy. They know the truth. They know the truth of who you are. Because it's not about the words, it's about the energy you present. And that's why it's so important that, who are you? What's your energy? Do you know, the horses resonate it, especially from the heart. Do you open your heart with them? They're great for healing because they feel right into that. They know what to heal. I could spend all the time talking about the horses, but I don't want to too much. So yeah, I was lying on there for like 20 minutes at least. But it was okay because I was watching the eagles fly over, and then there was like this little bug. I was saying it's like a fairy bug was flying there. And we just snap, and she put moss on me, and I just loved it because I love lying down on the ground and then just being in a ball gown and just, it was just the essence. But, you know, that really is representing. I would not be the person that I am without my connection to this earth and understanding it and offering my love and gratitude for everything that I've learned from this earth. So then we come to the last photo, which is called Empowerment. And that wasn't even actually in until the last second. So what happened, Janice had these feathers when I went to my first photo shoot, and I was like, oh, I love those. And she says, okay, I'll bring them to when we go out. And I said, yeah, I'm going to do a reel to promote these photos. Anyways, I did my reel, and I was even saying I may or may not, because it wasn't even in this. And then she's like, all of a sudden she goes, oh, Claudia, come here. Because it was a fallen tree and the roots were. This is just all the roots. That's a fallen tree, and I'm holding on to the roots. And she goes, just stand there. And she must have taken like just 4 photos. And she goes, wow, the colors in this is amazing. And then I took a look. I said, yeah, beautiful. Anyways, we packed up. We got out of the forest, came back to my house. And I said to her, you know what? Like, keep those photos. I don't know. There's something about it. And she's going, oh, for sure. And then by the time I got in the house, I'm like, that is the 4th photo. I meant to have 4, and it's called Empowerment, because in there, I'm fully in who I am. I know my worth. Empowerment is not powering over people. It is that inner power, that inner strength, that you are living in alignment. You know your truth. You know how to hold boundaries. You know how to live in love and compassion. I'm not, my empowerment is in no way is with love and compassion. It is being in the essence of who I am and standing in my truth. And I'm going to live the way I'm going to live, regardless of anybody else. But I live with such joy and peace and love and acceptance. It's like that is where it is. It's within. I'm not powering over, buddy. I don't need you to follow me. I don't need you to validate things for me. I'm living my authentic as my authentic self. And if that inspires you, great. If it triggers you in some way, well, that's great too, because there's something for you to learn. And I think if it triggers you, there's some aspect of myself that you are wanting to feel within your own being. Maybe in a way of healing yourself, or I wish I was free like that. I wish I could just do what she's doing. She's always dancing. I love to dance. That's where I'm fully embodied in who I am. I'm not in my mind. I'm in my soul essence when I dance. I hear the music and I go. It's never choreographed. I might have an outfit or something and I just go for it. And it's freedom for me. It's an expression of who I am. It's a creativeness. You know, when I think of like the fairies and being free and the empowerment, I was journaling even this morning and I was writing, I want to be wild and free. And these next two words were actually my word of the year, untamed and joyful. I want to have depths and playfulness. Like those were how I was describing myself. You know, I want to be limitless. I want to be able to express myself in the way I do, through my words, through my energy, through the way I move my body. And when I do move my body, there is energy flowing. There's waves. There's messages in it. You can receive it. You can receive the energy by watching what I'm doing. It's good energy. Let me tell you, it's good energy because I can feel it. I mean, my hands start to tinkle. My body just starts to go. The wind will pick up if I'm dancing outside. And it's just like freedom. You know, that one where I was dancing on the lake with those beautiful fairy wings. It was magical. I shifted. Magic happened in that forest. I'm telling you, it shifted me. And I just really aligned with who I am. And I was going to say, these fairy wings are the ones I've have for quite a bit, and they're my cheap ones. And the new ones I got were actually quite expensive. And it was a different energy. It was really a different energy, but it really embodied who I am now. And I do love who I am. And I'm proud of who I am. Like these last 5 or 6 years, I have put everything, blood, sweat, and tears, into healing myself. And seeing people outside of me, the relationships, as mirrors. What am I meant to learn? I wasn't projecting on people. I was taking responsibility, accountability for myself in this journey. To get from the awakening to breaking free to connecting with Mother Earth to empowerment. I gave it everything I have. It's a daily practice for me. It is meditation. It's getting to nature. It's journaling. It's listening to frequency. It's getting in water. It's doing yoga. It's moving my body. It's a constant. But I'm worth it. I value who I am. And I want to inspire people to do the same. We are so powerful as beings, inner power. And the world we could create, if we realized how powerful we are, it would be an amazing, beautiful world. And there is a lot of suffering right now. But we have to come back to ourselves. And really be who we're meant to be, because I'm telling you, if we're co-creating with the universe, they're helping us. They're inspiring us. We can create some beautiful things, but it has to start with you. And you have to open your heart. You have to open up your energy. You have to say, you know what, I'm ready to change my life. I'm ready to go and be something different. What else can I learn about myself? How can I evolve? How can I grow? Emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally. Can I quiet the mind? Can I come back to my heart? Can I come back to my body? My soul is talking to me through my body. And what does that feel like you? We're all meant to be different. We're all unique in our own way. And whatever I do doesn't mean you have to do it. I'm just, doing me and hoping that there's something in you that says, you know what? Like, I want to try some different things. I want to be a different way. I want to be able to do X, Y, Z. Just be open to it all. Remember, you are worth it. You're absolutely worth it. And this was my journey. And all these photos, it's all me. And it's been the last 5 or 6 years. And so, yeah, these are my words of wisdom today. How can you embrace who you truly are? What is your truth? How do you want to live? Do you want freedom? Do you want to be able to know when you feel into a decision? Because that's where I am. I just tune into myself, whether it's the food I eat, whether it's a video I need to do, whether I need to reach out to somebody, and sometimes there's discomfort, and that's okay. I've done so many things in discomfort, but I realized it was part of my journey, and so I embraced it. And every time it got a little bit easier, and a little bit easier, and I grew and I evolved, and I stepped into this journey of who I am. So the story of I am so much. I am peace and love and joy and wisdom. I am powerful inside of myself. I am an inner strength. And I want to live my life fully, deeply, with love and in presence. And I would love the same for you. So thank you. I hope these words of wisdom inspired you in some way. And I am sending you so much love. So from my heart to yours, we'll go back here. The awakening, breaking free, Mother Earth home, we are one, and empowerment. Thank you so much. Bye.